Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're gonna talk about Panasonic BGH1. So let's dive right into it. Well, first, what exactly we are talking about? We are talking about a Panasonic's interesting new offering of a box-style cinema camera. So this is basically a box, and recently there has been a trend of making cinema camera into just a box. Basically, it's a better version of what Red tries to do, and the idea is this is a micro four third camera, aka the sensor and the lens mount is micro four third, and this puppy can do 4K at 60 frames per second and proper live streaming. That I will explain much further. And this puppy is very small and light. What does that mean? That simply means if you want to fly this puppy on a drone, you can do everything like that, including like basically having battery and lens inside 1 kilogram. That's amazing. So that's the whole point of this. It's small and light. Now, why this is created? You have to understand that Panasonic cannot does not have the market share big enough in imaging division where they're like, okay, we're gonna produce 5 or 6 equipments at the same time. So they are focusing on full frame on basically Lumix lineup, and all the research and development they have done on basically micro four third end, those has been like a very solid video camera. Now they are like, okay, if we have amazing micro four third technology, why not make a dedicated video camera just to take care of that? We have basically camcorders, handy cams, things of that nature. Why not make a unique camera with interchangeable lens? So this is the whole point of it. Like every single research and development they have done so far on micro four third, they put all that data, all that experience into this box camera. Now this is purpose built video camera. Basically they have trimmed down everything else. Basically no electric viewfinder, no screen, like it has not nothing, no screen. So, and because of the world ending factor that happened in 2020, live streaming is king. So at this point in time, okay, I'm pretty sure this video would be uploaded in 2021, but you get the point. Live streaming is important now, and once people realize that they can do their job in live streaming, they will keep doing it. So it's not gonna go away even if cure is found. So it's a king at this point in time. And the fact of having a box camera, it's modular. What does that mean? That simply means, think of it this way. Let's say you are a quote-unquote traditional style of shooter where you want what we call basically shoulder cam. You will have something like this here. You're gonna have a camera, you're gonna have a nice viewfinder, you can set it up that way. Or you could be something unorthodox and you can try be like, hey, what if I want a hip camera? It's like, I'm gonna walk around with this kind of camera. You can do the setup your way, and that's the whole point of this box camera. They're not gonna give you quote-unquote a complete camera. They're gonna give you a box with a hole in it. One of the person in the live stream talked about that. So that's the whole point. Set it up exactly how you want it. And because it has mounting points all over the body, you can literally have a weird system where you can have like, hey, what if the camera is tilted on its side? If you want to do that, go yellow on it. So that's the whole point. It's quite amazing. Like it's like all the experience of micro four third poured into single body. Now let's understand the unique selling point. Now this one factor alone, many people will simply say, shut up and take my money. Single cable live streaming capability this puppy has. What does that mean? That simply means, think of it this way. You do live streaming on a regular basis. Let's say Tony Northrup does that, or LTT does that. Imagine if they had 2 or 3 camera setup, and all those camera will have like lots of cable to take care of. This puppy is like, just buy a PoE injector or buy a PoE capable switch, which are not though very expensive, and not to mention this runs on a 25 watt system, so it's not super demanding, and you can have all those camera running directly on a network system, and all you have to have is one cable. Now you could do that technically speaking with security cameras, but again, this is a much better quality video footage. On top of that, you can utilize microphone. Now microphones require power, so how the heck you gonna power that? This puppy has an interactive hot shoe, basically hot shoe with a lot of smarts built into it. So you can buy this Lumix adapter system, and you can get 2 XLR, professional level XLR with phantom powers and everything, and you can just go YOLO on it. So basically you can have a setup where you have basically microphone. Think of it this way. You can have a system where microphone, like you have 2 shotgun mics on 2 individuals, and the moment you go, let's say, switching to left person, that microphone becomes a primary system directly, one cable. Like many people will say, shut up and take my money. That's it. Like, I don't want to deal with battery charging, I don't want to deal with the battery of the microphone, nothing. Just one cable takes care of it all. Shut up and take my money. Only for that people will simply say that. Like, that's amazing. That's like somebody realized, hey, wait a minute, these cameras run less than 20 watt power consumption, and we have security camera that has been doing the same thing. Again, lower quality, but they have been doing the same thing, and why not just mix them together? Awesome. So now that's for network savvy individual. What if you only have USB port? Now technically USB-C have the ability of what we call PD, aka they can go YOLO up to 100 watts. Now those things are specifically targeted for power adapters. Your laptop plug should not supposed to provide that kind of power, so they cannot do that. So what they did is like they still have USB. So if you want to use as a very expensive webcam, go YOLO on it. But how the heck you gonna power this? You can utilize battery, but again unwise. If you really want to have a basically quote unquote plug and play experience, you can utilize 12 volt DC barrel jack. It has a barrel jack here. Amazing, like simple elegant solution. So it's mind-boggling there. And another aspect is Canon has already released their equipment as a like a quote unquote webcam, but it's very compromised. The software is not amazing, as in like, and Panasonic has been known throughout the years is like, dude, they know, they listen to the public and they actually make a usable user interface. So they have sat down, figured, given the fact that this has no screen, it's like basically full camera control is accessible through one point. That's alone is amazing. Like you don't have to go back behind the camera and set things up. It's like, bro, take care of everything. It's like alone. That's why I'm saying, like, for many people this is like shut up and take my money, just because of that. Like you can do 100% camera control and all over with one basically Ethernet cable or with USB also. So that alone is awesome. Now again, this is a cinema camera. You're not supposed to extract cinema footage out of a Ethernet or SDI. You can do that extraction out of HDMI. It has thankfully full size HDMI cable, so you can go YOLO on that front if you want to. But what if you want to do recording on body? You can utilize dual UHS 2 card slots, so you can do redundant and all that jazz. It can go upwards of 420 at 60 frames per second. That's a little bit less, like again more than sufficient for more than enough people, but little bit less, because of like if it were 4:2, it would be directly comparing to, let's say, Sony full frame cameras, A7S3, but good, more than good enough for more than most things. And if you are directly extracting from HDMI, it does have the ability to broadcast 4:2 over HDMI. So that is there. Now one core selling point. Now we know about what we call time sync. Now time syncs, basically time code allows multiple camera to be synced properly. Now be mindful when you are utilizing that, you are still at quote unquote rough level, basic level. Basically this technology, if you go to a broadcasting studio, basically a news broadcasting studio from BBC, they're gonna laugh you out of the room. It's like, bro, go away. Time code is not good enough, because time code is a triggering mechanism. It's like, tuk, go. It's like, tuk, go. Now what does problem in that? Like again, if you're only recording for 10 minutes 15 minutes, no issue, go YOLO on it. It's just that if you want to record for 4 hours 5 hours, you will realize all the cameras starting to go YOLO. They are all drifting, because each quartz crystal that is inside all this equipment, all of them have their own emotions. Basically they go YOLO. So production industry, broadcast industry, they realized this very early on, like you cannot rely on time sync alone, time code alone. So they created a new system which we call Genlock. The idea of Genlock is basically you talk to the sensor and you trigger it externally. What does that mean? That simply means you can have one crystal that is acting as a master and everything else is triggering on that. Nothing else. Like you do not let the clock interfere. Basically everything is running on one clock. Your audio recording, one clock. Your 5-6 cameras, one clock. Your backup audio recording, on one clock. Everything is running on one master, and it does not matter that master drifts or not. It's just like as long as everything else is synced to that master, everything is awesome. Now that may not sound that important for most things, but if you want to do, let's say, 360-degree video, your software is gonna die if you do not do that, simply because if they had to stitch it, and you are understanding, you are recording a video, I'm not talking about stills, you are talking about video, frame misalignment will literally have things moved from point A to point B. That would be really painful. And the individuals down below, I have provided a long discussion from them. They talked about this, like they tried very hard to use timecode to like really narrow it down, and they got it to good enough where they were only drifting by 1 or 2 frames in each shot. That's not acceptable if you want to do VR. For VR, you have to have like all the frames have to be taken exactly same way. You cannot have like little bit off. It has to be exactly same. And if you want to do 3D, it has to be exactly same. So having done Genlock, this alone for many people is like, dude, shut up and take my money. Just for that Genlock system, for getting a 4K system which has Genlock system, amazing. Now I have provided a video down below of Canon system. That's why Canon C series are so expensive. They have this Genlock and all that jazz. And again, having those kind of technology on something as cheap as less than $2,000, mind-boggling. So it has some surprisingly unique selling point. Now let's talk overview, kind of like a good and a bad. Now good, think of it this way, like if you watched recently Linus Tech Tips video where he wanted to do a quote-unquote 4K streaming for his like kids stadium, he had to spend a lot of money. This puppy can achieve that same kind of quality, actually better quality, on much lower price. So that's amazing. Another aspect is it has a large lens selection. That was another issue. There are equipments like security cameras, microscopes and all that jazz. They have their own proprietary lens mount. Good luck finding lens for that. So that's the whole issue. It's like, yeah, I have a camera, I can't buy a lens for it. What's the point of it? Micro Four Third is completely invert because it was like quote unquote agnostic. You can buy Olympus lens, you can buy Panasonic lens. Heck, you can buy an adapter to plug a Canon lens into this if you want to go YOLO. Heck, you can buy an adapter to put a cinema level PL lens if you want to do that. You can go as YOLO as you want to do. That's amazing. So all the accessories and lens selection is now available to you. That alone is like people like shut up and take my money. So that's good. However, we come to the Achilles heel of Panasonic system. Weak autofocus. So it's like, again, they will not ever use face detection, so they will never get basically autofocus where people can just like, okay, autofocus, do your job. They will never go to, and you can see that DP review have done a video and they're like, when they are outdoors, they're like, yep, you can't rely on that. You basically in the outdoor, and it was not like very action scene. It was like he was just walking around, like lightweight. It was not like, it was going like this. And the autofocus is like, no, can't reliably do that. So fundamentally, that's the whole issue. And another aspect which I found very odd, given the fact that this system was focused on live streaming and all that. Professional live streaming, the moment you want to do with multiple camera setup, every Tom, Dick and Harry will tell you one thing: let go of HDMI. Do not touch HDMI. It was not designed for that kind of thing. Do not use it. What you will use is SDI. Now, this puppy has SDI, but it has older generation SDI, SDI 3G. What does that mean? That simply means it can only do full HD at 60 frames per second. This camera is 4K at 60 frames per second. So 4K 60 frames per second, you need a camera that can do 12G SDI. That's the standard. Now, 12G, some Blackmagic camera does have that. Now, if you only want to do 4K, but you do not need 60 frames per second, you can utilize basically Blackmagic Micro Cinema camera, which is much cheaper than this. Now, again, it does have a smaller sensor, but it still uses Micro Four Third. And autofocus, again, both of them suck. So you have a lot of alternatives. Like, again, if you broaden your search horizon, you will find something similar to this everywhere. Again, it's kind of unique, especially because of the PoE alone makes it like, shut up and take it. Genlock alone makes it like suitable for VR, suitable for basically 360 video. But if those exact things are not your requirement, there are other options if you are comfortable with it. Heck, you can go into Zcam and you can get even bigger sensor than that. You can go even up to full frame sensor, because depth of field is not something you can easily replicate. So there are a lot of good things, and if it had amazing autofocus equivalent of Sony and Canon, people will like shut up and take my money. This is the most amazing camera to come out, but autofocus is still lacking. So this was my presentation on Panasonic's box camera. I hope you liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.